Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Jesse, and this is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today is the debut of Death Stranding, a game from Hideo Kojima. We're listening to BB's theme from the channel Ludwig Forstel, who I'm guessing, yes, it says right there, composer. And then after that is Cargo High from the channel Joel Corlitz. These are requested by Biosleeve, Chrillbill, and Rbamb. Thank you so much. I'm going to get right into it, and I'll talk later, but I have heard of Death Stranding. It is a somewhat recent game. I want to say sometime in the past 7 years. And I still don't know what the game is about. I just know it's been kind of like a meme with like delivery or something, but we'll find out more later. Let's just hear the songs. I'm very interested, actually, because if you guys know my history with Metal Gear Solid, we'll talk later. This is BB's theme from Death Stranding, the debut.
See the sunset, the day is ending. Let that yawn out. There's no pretending.
Oh, that was cool. It went from filtered to her normal vocals. A little synth wavy.
I'll stay with you by your side. Close your tired eyes. I'll wait, and soon I'll see your smile.
Oh, she layered her vocal. That was cool.
And I won't wake before you go. And I still hear your
What an hemisphere. That's what I heard last time. There's like a male vocal coming in very slightly.
tomorrow we must reach for to be heard. See the sunset.
Whoa.
The day is ending.
I thought it was gonna be ending soon after that climax, but maybe it's gonna be kind of like an elongated outro.
See the sunset.
Oh, her voice is amazing.
See the sunset.
It reminds me of Dido. You guys remember Dido? Kind of.
Try
Does it say who it is? Oh, Jenny Plant. This has 4 million views. Pretty sure there's another singer there. That's interesting. The percussion fades in as opposed to just popping in. It's a very it sounds like a very painted song. It's not harsh at all. Baby? Oh yeah, there's like a baby in this game. Oof. Okay. Noticing the upload here. It says Ludwig Forsell and Jenny Plant. That's all it says. This was released in 2019, so okay, 6 years. I'll talk more about the game later and what I know about it after, but just this game alone. Well, I can say for sure that that's not what I was expecting from the soundtrack. I don't know what to expect from the soundtrack. I've seen bits and pieces of this game in trailers and award shows. I think I might have even seen it when I debuted as a like big. I don't remember where it was, but I just remember everyone talking about Death Stranding because Hideo Kojima's like anything he does, people are like really paying attention. And I do remember seeing little bits and pieces like the constant, what is it, like packages or something. Like I always see a character with like a bunch of stuff with them. I don't know what's happening. I kind of don't want to know either, so try not to elaborate. And then I do remember that weird like baby scene. And I don't know. Yeah, this game just looks really, really, really mysterious. So I didn't even know like how or what the music would be just based on that, or if there would even be music at all. To me though, this sounds based on its like kind of cinematic nature that this is probably towards the end and on the view count. It's probably quite a significant moment. And I'm going to just take a blind guess before I listen to the next one that might be one of the only songs that sound like that in the game. I don't know. That feels really reserved to me. It feels like this is a big moment, and we've been kind of waiting for this moment. It just sounded like a big build-up with even the percussions coming in like that, the way they did, and the violins and everything. So we'll see. Or maybe the whole soundtrack is like that. But let me listen to Cargo High and try to get a better understanding, and then maybe I'll try to say something else with BB's team, because I don't know who BB is. This one just says that it's produced by Ludwig, but it is Joel Corlitz. So there's multiple composers. This is Cargo High. It's a lot shorter. It's a nice name for a song. Okay, so there's definitely a electronic presence in this soundtrack. Ooh. A lot of energy in both songs. I'm loving the keyboards though. Sensing a bit of I was going to say conflict at first. I don't even know if there's battles in this game. But hearing it more now, it sounds more like a discovery. It sounds like a discovery of like a cave or something. Spelunking theme. Something like that. I feel like I'm Indiana Jones right now, just... This whole time I'm staring at this image right here. I'm just trying to decipher what that means. It's so ominous, just black and white with the strands. Also what that means, Death Stranding. This is a strange song. In a good way, but it's strange. Feels more atmospheric than... I don't know. Never mind. Ignore what I just said. It's super sci-fi. That's the word I was thinking of. For both of these, they sound sci-fi. Very James Cameron. If you don't know who that is. God, what did he make? Terminator, The Thing. Other amazing stuff. I can't think right now. Well, it does make sense considering Hideo Kojima's love for film. Oh man, I love big reverb synths like that. But I haven't heard him use like that before. That was weird. Usually when you hear synths like that, for me it's like the synthwave dancey thing. It's actually funny considering who's requesting these because I showed them the band The Midnight, and that's kind of what I imagined synths to sound like. Very 80s and all that. But I haven't really heard synths be used in this kind of. Probably I have, but I can't think of one right now. But like in a cinematic sense, where it's used as kind of color in the song. And not just like the do like the main melody or something. The percussion seems to be quite strong in these, and there's just this big atmospheric kind of foreboding sound. So now let me talk about. That was really cool though. I don't know what that was though, as far as like setting, or I can only guess. At first, it sounded kind of like a conflict battle thing, but maybe I don't know. It's too vague and too early right now. It's my debut. I need to hear more Death Stranding, and I don't have too many requests for it. Maybe like 4 or 5 total, including these two. So we'll see. Now, let me explain. I was a little nervous going into these two because, for those that may or may not know, I'm well aware of Hideo Kojima, and I've talked about Metal Gear Solid in depth quite a bit on VGM Vibes or whatever. And again, in case you don't know, my favorite song ever in a video game comes from Metal Gear Solid. And a lot of my favorite music comes from Metal Gear Solid. And some of my favorite games are MGS 1, 2, and 3. And 4. I have not played the 5th one. Basically, I stopped playing anything really Hideo Kojima after Guns of the Patriots. And also, I've never experienced anything else outside of Metal Gear from him. I know he's like this eccentric fellow who was very... he's kind of like an enigma, right? He kind of looks like an immortal person to me. He looks younger every time I see him. But I've always known that he was like a film buff and just has that approach, and that's why Metal Gear Solid stuck out to me. But now hearing it in I don't know, it's hard to put into words what I'm feeling right now, because I've been growing up with this man's video games and soundtracks for like over 20 years, but I've never experienced something outside of that series until now. So it's a lot to process. It's going to take a bit. But I will tell you, though, the reason I was kind of nervous about this game is I'm just going to be straight up with you, because it's just, I think it's more fun to be honest, because you never know what's going to happen in the future type of thing. But everything I've ever seen from Death Stranding has looked completely unappealing to me. It does not look like anything interesting before you say anything. I'm just saying before I play the game. Who knows if I'll even play the game, and who knows if I'll laugh at this back someday. But I'll always try to document and record what I've been feeling and what my mind state was going into this video. So the good thing is I was pleasantly surprised by those. The music is way better than what I've been looking at. The footage I've seen of this game, which is probably less than 2 minutes total of either streamers playing it or just whatever, I've just been like, what the hell is going on? Like, this just looks so... And it's not even, by the way, it's not like a bias to Metal Gear. I'm not expecting like Metal Gear in another game, regardless of who's making it. Whether it was, some random indie developer, I still would have been like, what? And truth be told, when I saw the whole like celebrity inclusion on it, I was like, that turned me off even more. I don't know. Whenever I see that kind of stuff, it does the opposite effect I think CEOs want from me. I'm not like, ooh, yeah. I'm like, oh, that just seems kind of cheap to me. And you might be hearing all this as like a huge fan of the game and be like, oh my God, you have no idea what you're talking about and all that. I'm just telling you, I haven't played the game yet. So I don't know. Maybe all that stuff doesn't even matter once you start. I'm just telling you how I feel now. It has just looked unappealing. Anytime I see any sort of celebrity or anything, it just seems just kind of odd to me. For example, Tony Hawk, they did 1 and 2 and then they did 3+4. They put Jack Black in there. I'm like, why? Like, I don't know. It just seems very like hello fellow kids to me. So either way, it's definitely not enough to get an idea, but that's per usual, as music being my favorite thing. I'm starting to see this a little differently now. This is where the shift comes in. Basically what I'm saying is like my interest went from like 0% to, I don't know, like 5, 10. But it's something. It went into the other direction, which I thought I was like kind of standing firm on. But, I'm open-minded to everything, and I wasn't going to go into this video like, oh, Death Stranding. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's see what this is about, right? Let's see the hype here. 6 years late, but let's see what it is. And to me, honestly, that sounded like the genius that I know of him. I know he's very meticulous, and he probably has such a way with inserting musical scores or whatever into his games. So it shined like a new light for me. That's pretty much it. I enjoyed that quite a bit. It sounded thrilling. It sounded like the complete opposite, if I'm being honest. It sounded like the complete opposite of what I've been seeing and thinking so far. Before, I just was like, and okay, to now like, oh, okay. Damn, And it introduced this kind of a genre that I really haven't experienced too much. I think the only game that might come to mind would be like some stuff from Cyberpunk, or I don't even know. But I'm a huge fan of like slow synthwave type stuff, but adding the violins and the kind of orchestral big sound to it, it's a really good sounding soundtrack. And this is YouTube, right? I can imagine in-game or like the official album if there is one. Well, I will say that I'm curious. I'm curious about a lot of things, but obviously, like anything else, regardless if I want to play it or not, I still don't want to be spoiled, because maybe this is one of those games that's just so incredible that maybe you guys felt the same way. Maybe a lot of you felt the same way as I did and then played it. And see, that's the thing about video games, you just don't know. You might have thought the same as me, and then like, oh no, I was completely converted. Or maybe you were in from the start and you loved it, or you were disappointed by it. Who knows? There's also the whole thing about like, you may have never even played Metal Gear Solid before. Or maybe this game even got you to Metal Gear Solid. There's a lot of things to think about here. And the reason I'm so vocal about it is because my favorite game is Metal Gear Solid. So it's like I have somewhat of a connection here if you want to call it that. Or this could have been someone's first game, you know? It's like a 20-year difference. Anyways, those are my thoughts, but good music. Good music. BB's theme sounds like more of a ending theme or somewhere like in the end. Cargo High. Damn, I don't know. That one's a little too vague for me. I'm just going to keep it at spelunking. But if you want to explain the basic premise of the game, go for it, because I've never even done that. Anyways, thanks for listening to me up. And thank you, Biosleeve, and to the rest of the requesters, Chrillbill and Rbamb. I'm curious, though. I'm curious. That's way better than being not curious. I'm glad the music is good in this game. Awesome. I've also never heard of these two composers either, so a lot of new things here. Thanks to everyone you see on screen. I could not be here without them. Thanks you for watching. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Take it easy.